So this one is a heavy hitter topic. So we talked about Murdaugh in 2 different stories last week, right? And I'm sure you all remember that, right?
Yep, back-to-back Murdaughs.
The state has came back and responded to their inquiries of, what's her name, Becky Hill, the county
clerk. It's not the county clerk, it's the court clerk.
Court clerk, yes, the court clerk that they believe influenced the jury, okay? That Alex's attorneys believe influenced the jury, and it sure seems that way based on the evidence. So the state is playing hardball with this, clearly. So they were in court, and they had said to Alex's team that there's some factual disputes with the allegations of the Murdaugh trial tampering. So basically what they're saying is, when you submitted this paperwork, you left out important facts. And those facts are, and it says there were 3 big ones, but it only talks about one here, and that one is when they knew about this issue. So like what the state's trying to suggest is that maybe Murdaugh or Murdaugh's team knew this was going on during the trial. If they did and chose not to say something, this could then get them in trouble. This should have been brought up. This should have been brought to the judge's attention.
Like maybe they thought, if we lose, then we bring it up.
Correct. Yes. That's what I think they're trying to assume and lead us to. And I think that's a valid concern, because apparently in the official paperwork, it doesn't say when they learned. However, when you watch the statements, and it does say it in this article, that when you watch the statements, his attorneys very openly said, after the jury was done convening and sentencing was done, we found out very soon after that, hey, you guys need to look into these situations.
Yeah.
But it's not on the official court paperwork.
But they also did say they heard some things during the trial.
Yeah.
They literally said that, and the defense team said that in the press conference that they did, that they heard like some little things, like the Facebook post, like that was brought up. So there were some things brought, obviously, to the court's attention, but maybe they didn't know the depth of it.
That was information shared with everyone.
Right.
So like that Facebook post where they're removing a jury member would be information shared with the defense and the state.
Too. Like
absolutely.
Everybody saw that.
Yep. So, but the main claims that they're bringing here, the state is saying, hey, we have questions. We don't know if this is clear enough information. And they further play hardball by saying, we aren't even looking at this until you resubmit your request for a retrial, and you have only 10 days to do it. So, looking at it logically, this is a trial of a lifetime, okay? And Alec has very, very, very good lawyers, very respectable lawyers that in a legal setting and within lawyers, they all look to his lawyers and look at him as like top quality, the best of the best. And these guys aren't going to let this 10-day pass. They're going to get it done in that 10 days. So I just look at this kind of and feel like the state is playing salty. They're mad this is happening, which I get it. But this comes back to the same thing that we bring up all the time, that let the evidence speak for itself. We got to have fair trials, you know? If this is true, what they're saying about Becky Hill,
the state should be mad at Becky, not the defense.
Agreed. They just need to give them the retrial already.
Absolutely. I get it's annoying and everything, but also I have another issue with that court hearing where they talk about that, because they're like forcing them to set a trial date for the financial crimes, like the state ones. And he's already going to federal court to plead guilty to financial crimes. And I heard the lawyer, talking about this, and he's like, well, also the defense lawyer's like, what is the big rush here? Like, he's got a conviction that's landing him in life for the rest, life. Like, he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. So what is the rush? And the lawyer is saying that he agrees. Like, what is the rush? Because you're also
we know.
You're clogging up the court system.
We know what the rush
with
is.
all Murdaugh, when there's a bunch of other people who need to go to court too.
The rush is they want to get his conviction of the federal crimes before this retrial so that he can be in federal prison. We talked about it on one of our last videos. And
the defense team doesn't want to rush. They were trying not to set a trial date.
Then that makes me wonder, and I haven't looked into this. I brought this question up last time.
The state one.
With the federal case, he was going to the federal case for those 100-something white-collar financial crime charges to plead guilty because he already pled guilty in his state case. Now, if he gets the retrial, does him pleading guilty for those financial crimes in the original state case get to be used anymore for the federal?
Wait,
or does it all get thrown out?
I feel like you're getting it mixed up.
No.
So the judge was forcing him to set a trial date for the state financial crimes. Trial date. He's not pleading, he hasn't pled guilty to the state ones. He's going to have a trial.
All the financial crimes are being brought federally.
The federal crimes he's pleading guilty to, which is going to get him in federal prison. But the state case, they're trying to force this trial. They just set it for this year, like November, I think, or something like that.
So what are the additional state crimes?
I'll have to look it up, okay? I'm sorry to bring it up and not have all the facts, but I was listening to the court hearing and hearing the defense lawyer be like, he's getting ready to go plead guilty in a federal court. Like, what are we rushing here for?
Yeah.
What's the rush, judge? And the judge, I feel like, was like an attack dog. Like, I don't know. He was very aggressive.
They're trying to keep him in state because it's less comfortable. So if you have an issue against Alec, you want him in a state prison because it is so much more awful.
I don't know, but they're just saying we're not, like, his defense team was like, we're not going to be ready. Like, I'm not going to be able to adequately defend him. I'm not going to be ready.
Yeah.
And he was saying, I'm not going to be able to go see my wife for Thanksgiving overseas. Like, I have all these plans, and, like, you're basically ruining my whole life right now, Judge. Like, that's what it seemed like. He was kind of throwing a baby fit. But I did kind of agree with him. Like, what is the rush? You guys have this whole big thing with the murder trial going on in your state court right now.
Yeah.
And you're clogging up the court system with Murdaugh. Like, why are you rushing this trial date when you guys have all this stuff going on?
I just said why. That's why.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's for sure why. 100%. They don't want to be able to give Alec what he wants.
Yeah, but I don't. Once you're convicted federally, I think, like, don't you just go to federal prison?
No. You go to wherever your first conviction takes place. That is what this is all about. So if he doesn't get this retrial, he would have done all his life sentence in the state prison. Alec and his team wants him in federal because it's easier time. So they want him to plead guilty to the federal crimes before any state crimes. That's why. And the state is saying, no, Alec, we are not going to give you what you want. Nothing. Not even to serve your time where you want it. We're going to force this through so you have to have state time.
I don't know, because if he's getting ready to plead guilty to his federal crimes, then
you're acting like the state cares about that.
No, but if he's going to do it very, very soon, then what does the trial in November matter? Because
you don't know how long that's going to take. You're assuming he's going to walk in there and just say, hey, I'm guilty. Here, let's go for this plea and be done with it. That hasn't happened yet. Okay. That has not happened. That's a big bet on something that hasn't happened. Okay. If I was Alec, I would find out if those white-collar crimes can still be... The admission of guilt used in my court case can still be used against those, because if they can't, I'm fighting them. Why would I plead guilty? I'm going to fight the heck out of that, because you can't use my admission of guilt in that trial that is going to be a retrial.
Okay, so he has 22 federal charges and 90 state grand jury charges.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what it is. That's where that 112 comes from.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and he's going to plead guilty to the federal charges.
Yep. And the reason why he's doing that is to get in federal prison, because you do the time where the first conviction takes place. 100%. That's what's going on. I'm surprised the lawyer didn't bring that up.
I think people have been bringing that up, and I think he has talked about it, and maybe he did in that video. I don't think I watched all of it, to be honest. So...
But yeah, let us know what you think, guys. I'm curious. We kind of got in a big tangent and sidetracked there. But this was about the 10 days to make corrections and resubmit, and the state playing hardball kind of.
They are.
And when something goes wrong in a trial, it's only fair that you give a man, even a guilty man, a fair trial. This
Agreed.
is what a jury is there for. I think Alec is guilty at least of enough crimes to go away forever. He's exactly where he should be, and we can prove that with evidence, whether it's from financial crimes, whether it is from the violent crimes. It doesn't matter. This man's going away forever. He knows it. That's why he's trying to pick where he's going to do his time, and I'm curious what you guys think. So
Me too.
yes.